I'm going to go after the point. If x equals 1, f of 1 equals 1 over the square root of 1, which is 1. So the coordinate point I'm looking for is 1, 1. So whatever this graph looks like, and he's not a line, because it's 1 over the square root of x, so he's not linear, so he's not a line, is at 1, 1. You want to look at him, and I'll just put him up. He's on the page on the back. Well, I can use my, oh no, let's do this. That's what he looks like. And then that's what your tangent line's going to look like. So I've got a curve. So, first thing I'm going to find is the slope of the secant. That's the difference quotient, f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. Because remember, what we're going after is this. F prime of x, that's the slope of the tangent, is the limit as h goes to 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. That's what we're going after. But I'm going to do this part first. That's the slope of the secant. That's algebra. So, f of x plus h is, that's step 1, 1 over the square root of x plus h. Can't do anything with that. F of x is the original problem. And then I have f of x plus h minus f of x. That's step 1, subtract step 2. Step 1, subtract step 2. 1 over the square root of x plus h minus 1 over the square root of x. Now this is where the work starts. I'm going to bring this over a common denominator. Square root of x, square root of x, square root of x plus h, square root of x plus h. So this becomes the square root of x minus the square root of x plus h over the square root of x times the square root of x plus h. Now, one of the things I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to get this guy so there's an h by himself. How can I do that? That's a trick I can use. Begins with an R. Rationalize. Well, denominator's not going to help. Free up an h. I'm going to have to rationalize the numerator. Multiply by the conjugate. So this would be rationalize the numerator. So this becomes square root of x times the square root of x is just x minus square root of x plus h times the square root of x plus h. More than one term is just x plus h. Inner outers add the 0. Then I got this mess on the bottom. Square root of x, square root of x plus h times square root of x plus the square root of x plus h. Now you know why I hated my instructor for a couple of days. My calc instructor. It was like, I didn't have enough to do. This will be x minus h over square root of x plus h times square root of x plus the square root of x plus h. Plus x minus x. This leads me to minus h over the square root of x plus h times square root of x plus the square root of x plus h. Now you know why this is really a board problem. That's just step 3. And this is a simple problem, guys. I know. Now I put in step 4. We're still in the algebra part, which is f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. So that's that guy. So that means I'm going to take this whole mess times square root of x plus the square root of x plus h over h. Now this is h over 1. That's a complex fraction, so what do we do? Invert and multiply. So invert and multiply. That saves some writing. So h goes, that goes, leaving me with a minus 1. So the slope of the secant line is minus 1 over square root of x plus h times square root of x plus the square root of x plus h. That concludes the algebra portion of this problem.
Can you slide it up a little bit, please? Thank you.
That concludes the algebra part of this problem. And then for many of you and for me, we now move to the next page. It is a 2-page problem.